Hey, good morning, guys. It's Thursday morning. Got lots going on today. One thing I want to do is prep the door glass and get that ready to install. I want to paint the track and all that stuff that's attached to the glass. And one of them has a few minor scratches. I'm going to see if I can buff them out. I've seen it done online, so I'll give it a shot. Why not? Also, the fenders, now that they're painted, another few hours and they should be ready to wet sand and buff. And yeah, also I bought another project. Yeah, I know, you can't have just one. They're like potato chips, you know. This one's a little off the beaten path from what I normally do, but it's very cool. It's supposed to be here, get delivered here this afternoon, but we did have some really shitty weather last night, and there's snow on the ground and it's slushy and shitty, and I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I got a text from him a little while ago, and he said he's still getting after it, so hopefully it does get here this afternoon, and I'll show you what that's all about. So there's all kinds of stuff to do, so we might as well just get to it. Alright, so here's my door glass, and it's, well, it's filthy. So I'm going to clean it up first and see what we got. There's a little bit of black spray paint or something there, but that'll scrape off. Yeah, it's never dirty. Almost feels gritty. This is just soapy water, so get some proper window cleaner on this after. This is just so I can see what kind of shape the glass is in. Nothing wrong with that. This is the left side. There's one or two scratches on the on the right side. Nothing major though. Most of that stuff will clean off. I think we're in good shape. So I'll just take this wire brush wheel and a cordless drill, and I'll clean up the track, and I'll trim off the excess goop here, just holding it into the track, and yeah, paint it black with some rust paint, and call them done. And then when I clean the window up really well, there's little tiny marks, but there's nothing major. I think it'll be fine. This has got the nice little green tint to it. But we're going to run the buffer over it anyway and see if we can't just smooth that right out. But, having said that, adjust the camera a little bit. My chum just texted me and he's on his way with the other project. So I think I'm going to knock this down, make room so I can get it into the garage, and yeah, we'll take a peek at that once I get it in here. So there you go. All right, so yeah, it arrived here about an hour ago, I guess, and of course, you know, it started to pour rain. It was a freaking monsoon. Why is it that every time I get something, I've got to unload something, or something gets delivered here, it's always either snowing like hell, cold as hell, or pouring friggin' rain? It's a monsoon every time. I don't understand. But anyway, we got it in, and it's very cool. I've had 3 of these before, and I've always done well with them financially, you know. And this one's pretty cool. So I'll just grab the camera and check it out. And there it is. That is a 1969 model year Triumph Bonneville 650. T120 is the number. It's complete. I mean, it's got everything is here. And the chrome is really good shape. I mean, this thing will polish right up nicely. Both rims. And, you know, to see the fenders that aren't all dented up, because once they're dented, you're kind of screwed. You got to body work them and paint them. This way here, you can just polish up the chrome and you're done. Headlights a little pitted, but the rear fender's good. But you know, to have it complete and all the pieces here, the one thing that was a big deal for me, and which kind of clinched the deal, is the guy who has this, or brought it to me, he's got enough engine parts and all sorts of spare parts, so I can inventory what I think I'm going to need here, and I can hook up with him on the weekend and pick up everything I need. And he says he's got lots of everything. Like, I know for sure the glass on the tack is broken, but other than that, the gauges are mint. They're really nice. I love those handlebars. They're awesome. But these things here, when they're all polished up, they are a killer. All aluminum, you know, cases and everything. So you take that engine apart and clean it all up, shine it up, run it on the buffing machine, and yeah, they are slick. The tank, the guy who had it started body working it. It's got a nice little rib down the middle. I like that. And it's going to need some badging, of course, but those things you can buy. They're readily available, especially here in Canada. There's a couple of places to deal in just British bikes. So yeah, I'm stoked, man. Got it for a very good price. There's plenty of meat in the bone on this one. And the one thing is he filled up, he said it was stuck, so he filled up both cylinders with penetrating oil, and we checked them before he left. This one here penetrating oil was gone, so it's gone through. So this cylinder is probably okay. This one here is still full of fluid, so that's the one that's stuck. I'm probably going to pull that stuff out of there. I'll let it sit overnight. I'll get some ATF, throw some transmission fluid in there, and see if we can't free that up. It ran less than a year ago, so it can't be stuck that bad. So I should be able to free it up, and then the next thing will be to try and get it running. And these things are oddball as far as wiring. Positive ground, so everything's backwards. You know, leave it to the British. They put the shifter on the wrong side, and the, you know, positive ground and wire it backwards. But whatever, it is what it is. But it's very, very cool. I mean, it's so cool that Marlon Brando and Steve McQueen rode Triumphs in the movie The Great Escape. The bike that Steve McQueen was trying to get away on was, they passed it off as a German bike, but they disguised it. It was actually a Triumph. They had to disguise it because everybody knows the German army did not ride around on Triumph motorcycles. And Marlon Brando rode a Triumph in his movie, the what was that called again? The Wild Ones. Kind of a loosely based story on Hollister, California, when bikers took over the town, apparently. But anyway, yeah, it was a 650 Triumph as well. I think 650, but it was a Triumph for sure. Anyway, that's her, and like I said, I'm gonna dry it off and clean it up a little bit, and see what I got. Very cool. So, like any kid with a new toy, you've got to play with it for a little while, don't you? I mean, I think it's a law, actually. But so I spent an hour and a half just cleaning things up a little bit, just to see what kind of potential I've got here. And I'll just grab the camera and show you the difference. So all I used in this thing pretty much was like, you know, SOS pad and a little bit of cleaner. Use that little buffing wheel on the cordless drill. And, you know, I mean, the chrome in this thing is excellent. And spent maybe 20 minutes just on the lower cases there, the covers. And look at the mufflers. I mean, they look pretty grungy, but they clean up really, really well. You know, both sides. So I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of pitting, but you know, if you were looking for a set, didn't have them yet, you could run those and feel good about it. So yeah, quite pleased. I just got to free up that damn cylinder. But anyway, that's enough playtime, and time to get back to work on the truck. So I got to figure out how I'm going to fit this project in. But anyway, there you go. I think it's looking spiffy already. Alright, so like I said, playtime's over. Now I don't know if you can see the difference here, but it's huge. So this one here, I've pretty much gone over. Just got a couple little spots to do, but for the most part, I'm going to call it done. And I'll show you what I did. So, first, move this out of the way. So, can you hear that? It's almost sandpaper-ish, you know, it's rough. So I went over it with an SOS pad, which is triple or quadruple zero steel wool, and with a little bit of thinner or wool and some water, soapy water. You can hear it cutting through it. Once you don't hear it anymore, you're good. Okay, so little spot right here. Then I've got this compound here. It's a extra cut compound, but it's what they call a diminishing abrasive. So when you first put it on, it's got some grit to it, but as you work it with the buffer, it breaks down and ends up just becoming like polish. And I'm just using my little guy here. Anyway, I'll throw a little. There. Now it doesn't take out every single mark, but it takes out most of it. And you end up with a pretty nice clear piece of glass. And that's it. Now I'll finish cleaning it up. I know it'll come good. It's good to use it. Clean this up with my cordless drill and a wire brush wheel and get these painted. Okay, there we go. Painted up both sides, and we'll just let that dry. I just used, like I said, some spray on rust paint, and we'll call it done. So these things will be ready to install once that paint is dry. There we go. Okay, so I got a little sidetracked in this one. That always happens when you get something new in the shop. But I'm going to keep them separate. I'm not going to do half bike, half truck or anything like that. It's not going to happen. We'll carry on with the truck as usual, and the bike I'll probably work on later in the evenings after I'm done with the truck. Put my day in on the truck and then play around with the bike for an hour or two, and I'll record material and just put it together whenever I think I have enough for a video, and put it out there every once in a while. So let me know what you think about the new project, and if there's I'd like to find out if there's interest in it or not before I start putting videos out. But whatever, we'll see what happens. Now that the glass is ready to install, I've got to sort through all the rubber pieces I have. I think there's like 15 packages of different rubber, and they're not labeled with where they are or what they are. It just has a number on them. So I'm gonna have to go back through my list and see what number corresponds to what, and sort through them and figure out which ones I need to use for the side glass. Once the side glass is in, that's the hard part. The windshield and the rear glass is pretty simple. Not much to it at all. So yeah, the side glass and with the vent window and all that, and getting it to crank up and down and everything working good, that's the tough part. So kind of like to get on that soon. But like I said, I got to sort through all those rubber pieces first and find out what's what. Yeah, I mean, we're just going to keep plugging along. I think probably the next video I'll buff or wet sand and buff out those fenders, kind of hang them on the truck. I can't bolt them up just yet. I need my welting to go between the fender and the box. So that's on order. It's coming. And yeah, make as much room in here as I can, and keep on trucking, so they say, or as they say. And you know, if you like the content, you like what you're seeing, please subscribe. I'd truly appreciate it. And if you already have subscribed, thank you. Like I said, I do appreciate it. And you know, don't be shy, leave comments, and really let me know about this Triumph. Do you want to see this thing get redone or what? And because I love the bike. I mean, like I said, I've had 3 of them, and always wanted to have one that was a keeper, and this one looks like a pretty good one. So we'll see what happens. And yeah, if you're not doing anything else, get out in the garage and build something, man. Later, guys.